chance. Rangers moving forward, but it didn't work. And here's Eric Gates with an opportunity if the ball will come down. And it just wouldn't. Oh, one or two spectators said to me beforehand, watch the football match, not the pitch. But what do you say about that? Living a little dangerously. Seen by Simon Steinrod, who rides what would have been a foul challenge. Here's Faraday, Allen far post. That's a good cross. Cooper made it comfortably. It's Gates again. Chase for Debray. And we're 5 minutes away from a scoreless half. Neil. It's done well. And I suspect he improvised a little bit as the ball was running away from him. Too far over the top, although Paul Cooper watched it carefully. Federer. Brennan. Davray. Putney. Handball. Good spot. Good smile from both Waddock and the referee. Very good spot by the official. Sunderland. Oh, that could have gone anywhere. And it was neatly taken in the slips by the goalkeeper off Steve Wicks. Deacon looks for the first time at his watch. We make it that we are just into stoppage time, and there can't be too much of that. Indeed there isn't. So we reach the interval with the score at 0-0. The last time that Ipswich played here at Loftus Road was 5 seasons ago, and they won 4-0. And by doing the double over Queen's Park Rangers, helped to send Rangers back to the 2nd division. Panic. Allen. Slightly unorthodox, but got it back well. Fillery. Dawes. Out by McCall. I think 1 or 2 in the crowd wondering why Fillery was not prepared to have a shot. He was on his left foot. He was roughly in line with the left post as we look. Gates chasing. Sunderland. Nicely done. Burley. Davray far side. And the effort by Brennan. Allen. Fillery. Neil. Michael White did well to let it go. Nicely done. Final ball just didn't work. But applause for the start of the move. Rangers supporters, though, obviously not seeing as much of that type of football as they would wish. Allen. Davray. Brennan. And he's onside this time is Sunderland. Forward for Davray, this is an opportunity. Oh! And goal kick is the verdict. And I'm not surprised that one or two Ipswich players go to talk to the referee, because as Davray tried to make up his mind about the bounce, it did seem to me that he was lent into. But the referee decided not so and gave a goal kick. Neil. Stainrod. Fiddery. Waddock. Fiddery. Michael White. Stainrod prepared for the long throw, for which Wicks has arrived. And which he gets the flick on. Allen! Clive Allen, 2 goals last week, and the opener this week in the 56th minute. Disconsolate looking Paul Cooper, in marked contrast with most expressions around the ground. Simple goal from the throw-in, a header from Steve Wicks, and Allen nipping in front of the goalkeeper to poke the ball past him. Faraday. Osman. It's Clive Allen's 10th goal of a season which has been often interrupted by injury. Stainrod. Neil with a bit of time to set his sights. Even better now. That's a nice chip. Stainrod disappointed he couldn't get on the end of it, but had he done so, the referee would have scrubbed the goal out, because he's given a free kick for a push. It was a nice little chip by Warren Neal. Dawes. Good running and a good pass. This is Faraday. Allen! And a combination of Barnes and Cooper, I think, turning the ball over the top. And they're smiling because maybe that was a moment when the harshness of the pitch helped them a little bit. Allen takes a central position in the 6-yard area. And Cooper makes another clean catch. Wicks. Burley. Sunderland. Slightly more by luck than judgment. Burley. Sunderland. Gates. Well, a pity for Ipswich Town. Sunderland, who made the run on the right, decided that Gates was better placed for the finish. The finish disappeared. Allen. Stainrod. Fiddery left side. Stainrod, Rangers top scorer, seen more often this afternoon, I think, as provider. 16 goals he's collected so far. Waddock. Allen! Firmly off the chest of Cooper. Allen charging in, had to snatch at it. Corner is the final verdict, so it must have got a clip off Cooper. Wicks looking and jumping a bit illegally. Tony Kinsella waiting to replace Mark Brendan. Cranston has done his job well. When it comes to Fillery, free kick for a bit of use of the right arm. Wicks. More problems for Ipswich Town. With Clive Allen, who scored 2 last week at West Ham to give his side a 1 point. His goal in the 56th minute, giving them 3 points on their own pitch. I'm sure Ipswich Town will remember for quite a long time the opportunity that fell and went away from Eric Gates.
Well, not the most distinguished of matches, though Ipswich did enough to convince me that they're capable of winning the fight to stay up. But they are dangerous words when you consider the way luck appears to desert teams at the bottom. There was no question in my mind, as it happened this afternoon, and certainly tonight, that Fenwick pushed Davray when he was through with only Hucker to beat, following Sunderland's neat pass. For once, the referee's view and angle was the same one as this camera gives us, and clearly shows that Fenwick's rush of blood to the head sparked off a penalty offence, and he got away with it. Well, just 3 minutes later, Rangers scored that single, valuable 3-point goal. Bob.
Yes, Rangers' win kept them well on course for a place in Europe next season. They moved up 2 spots to 4th, but the championship really is between the Giants, Liverpool and Manchester United. Both won today, as did 3rd place Nottingham Forest, so the gap at the top is still 2 points. But significantly, Liverpool's 6-0 win over West Ham now gives them a better goal difference than United as well. Ian Rush and skipper Graham Souness both scored twice as Liverpool equalled their biggest league win of the season. Rush now has 38. Kenny Dalglish and Ronnie Whelan were the other scorers. West Ham manager John Lyall missed the mauling. He was in bed with flu. A sympathetic Joe Fagan sent John a get-well letter when the West Ham team left for home, but added, "I don't suppose we helped very much towards his recovery." 6 goals, I'm sure they didn't. Brian Robson again came to Manchester United's rescue, scoring the goal, his 18th of the season, in the 1-0 win over Birmingham. United manager Ron Atkinson described it as United's worst home performance of the season, but added, "Liverpool have won 1,000,000 championships collecting points in games like that." Watford had a disastrous FA Cup warm-up, beaten 6-1 at Norwich, where John Dean scored 4 of the goals. But Watford manager Graham Taylor still has faith in his lads. With one exception, the same team will play in the Cup. There's one small consolation for Watford anyway. Their semi-final opponents, 3rd Division Plymouth, lost 3-0 at Scunthorpe. The other semi-finalists, Southampton and Everton, had a mixed day. Steve Moran earned Southampton a point in the 2-2 draw against Leicester, getting the equaliser 3 minutes from time, while Adrian Heath scored twice in Everton's 3-0 win at Luton. Charlie Nicholas and his Arsenal manager Don Howe both had an answer to Jock Stein's criticism of Charlie's recent international performances. Charlie's reply was to score a brilliant goal in Arsenal's 3-1 win over Stoke, and it prompted him to comment, "When people have said things you don't like, it's good to come back and play well." Manager Howe was more scathing towards Stein. "I'm surprised at Jock," he said. "The sort of remarks he made are best confined to the players. It's only people outside Arsenal who are not pleased with Charlie, and the crowd here love him." Well, up in Scotland, it looks as if the Premier Division Championship is on its way to Pittodrie, home of Aberdeen, who this afternoon took on bottom club Motherwell. Your commentator, Archie McPherson.
Kennedy, McLeod. Well intercepted. Black, that's not a bad ball as Angus goes after it. Kenny Lyle is there, Giz McGee. Yes! 1-0. Well snapped by Mark McGee. Pulled down by Black, now Strachan. Expecting some quality from him, and there it was! 2-0. Delightful goal. Strachan again with a shot, brilliantly saved. Oh, one of the best moves of the game, and a touch of quality. Arrow. It's Black. He may try the shot. He does! Oh. Oh, just to find out if Jim Leighton had gone to sleep or not, and he hasn't. Black, got it down well. Strachan goes with him. Porteous is wide. Gets it towards Strachan, and he did well to turn that round. Lovely little move again. There's Willie Miller. Can he get his shot? And he does. The white wall blocks him again. Now Forbes breaks. That's quite a good ball. There's Rafferty with a shot. He's scored. Rafferty, 2-1. Strachan is there. Mitchell's on the outside. It's very tight, says Strachan. Oh, neat little move. He's still there. Brilliant effort. Corner kick with 3 minutes left. Rugby. McGee's there. Black must do it. Oh.
Well, now for our second game, Swansea City against Manchester City, teams that have enjoyed their champagne days in the past, and for Swansea, not all that long ago, but both are suffering from the crippling financial realities of professional football today. And in that gloom, Manchester City cling to hopes of climbing back to the First Division, but Swansea need more help than they're getting to survive at all, let alone in the Second Division. Your commentator, Alan Parry.
If Swansea lose today, they'll accept that relegation is a virtual certainty. And if that happens, the club will complete a remarkable record, promotion 3 times and relegation twice in just 8 seasons. Well, league status isn't the only thing which has changed dramatically at the Vetch. Just over a year ago, Swansea could field 8 internationals. Today, their lineup contains 8 youngsters, all local lads with very little experience of league football. The big names have all gone, and the club has insufficient cash to replace them. There are also financial problems for the visiting manager, Billy McNeill. And this is a vital day for him in his attempt to win promotion for Manchester City in his first season in English football. City must win to stay in touch with the leading clubs, and McNeill is forced to make changes with Ray Ranson unwell and Paul Power injured. So in come Jeff Lomax and Clive Wilson, and new signing Gordon Smith plays his second game since arriving from Brighton. And today's referee is Roger Milford from Bristol. Swansea all in white, kick-off, attacking from right to left. They beat Manchester City 4-1 in the corresponding game last season, but this season at Main Road they lost 2-1. Pitch green and firm. Parlane given away, but the through ball by Marustic only going straight to Kevin Bond. This is Lewis, who plays as sweeper in this Swansea formation, finding Saunders. Richards. Not a bad effort, and Williams seemed to go down too early almost, but then readjusted himself to make the save. It was a fine shot by Richards, and Williams seemed to anticipate it a second or two earlier than he needed to, but got it as it bounced up off the floor. Here's Smith. Wilson. Interception by Evans. Tolmie. May. That was an opportunity, really. Tolmie doing well to control that high ball, laying it into the path of May, who came onto it quickly, but didn't hit his shot very straight. Oh, good firm header by McCarthy, and Kinsey has got in behind Evans here, and two in the middle for him. Parlane, what a fine goal. 12 minutes gone, Derek Parlane gets his 18th goal of the season and ends a barren spell of 5 without a goal. That long ball caused all the trouble, deceiving Wyndham Evans. Kinsey onto it in a flash, and what a good cross he pulled back for Parlane to find the corner of the net. Fine cross by Kinsey. That's why he's been brought back into the side, to provide width and crosses for people like Parlane to get onto. Swansea 0, Manchester City 1. So that'll really encourage Manchester City, who haven't won away in 1984. Their last away win was at Huddersfield back in December. Saunders. Corner. Dean Saunders, another of the promising youngsters, just 19, son of a former Liverpool player, Roy Saunders, who also spent some time as a player at the Vetch. Marustic, strange corner in a way, but Pascoe can try again and beats his man superbly. But not a very good cross at the end of it. Morgan, good effort really. Hugh Morgan, who's never scored in a first-team match for Swansea, just lifting that shot wide of the Manchester City goal. Parlane is lying injured in the centre circle from that challenge with Nigel Stevenson. Might have fallen awkwardly on his shoulder by the looks of things. Alex Williams thumps the ball out of play via a BBC Match of the Day camera, so Parlane can get some treatment. And you can see that Parlane obviously got a pretty severe crack in the face. Smelling salts being used to bring him to. Parlane able to continue, but doesn't look too happy. Pascoe. Marustic. Bond, the covering defender. Bad ball, straight to Baker. Looked to feed Kinsey. But Lewis doing what a sweeper should do, anticipating the danger. Robinson. Kinsey beaten then by the challenge from Evans. Ball had gone over. City throw, Manchester City that is. Wilson. McCarthy urged to go forward. Tomey. Was he fouled? No, the referee says play on. Parlane in behind the defenders and turns it back. Oh, and it's a fine effort by Tomey, which was tipped onto the crossbar by Hughes. Good play by all the players concerned. Parlane did so well to pull it back from the line. Tomey, that was a fine effort, and what a good save by Hughes onto the crossbar. Manchester City's first corner then. Parley. Smith ran into Robinson. McCarthy under pressure from Marustic. The ball bobbling around. Pascoe. Good tackle by Lomax. Here's Pascoe, back for Holtham. Stevenson. Oh, it's a bad ball. He could be in trouble here. City have got extra players. Baker. May is forward. He's onside. And more players arriving in support too. And the goalkeeper punching it clear. Kinsey. What a fine finish by Kinsey. But it all stemmed from the mistake at the other end by Stevenson. 10 minutes to half-time, and Manchester City go 2-0 up. Kinsey the scorer, but really that was a move which began with a mistake in the other half when Swansea were attacking. Stevenson gave it away, and City had so many players forward that in the end a goal had to be the outcome, and Kinsey dispatched it neatly into the net. A young team, 2-0 down at home, probably on their way to the third division, and understandably showing all the lack of confidence you'd expect of a side in that situation. Smith. Here's May. Baker. City with their tails up now. Parley. Baker. Not a good cross. Billy McNeil, the Manchester City manager, second from the left as we watch, knows that his team really need to win this today. Wilson heading the wrong way at the moment and in trouble. Pascoe, and Bond saving the embarrassment of Clive Wilson. Half-time, and Manchester City, the visitors, in the lead and very much in control. Derek Parley shooting them ahead early on in the 12th minute, and then a second goal scored by Kinsey 10 minutes before half-time. Manchester City have made all the running, and Swansea look a demoralised side at this stage. Les Chappell, the caretaker manager at Swansea, has a really difficult job on his hands, both in today's match and indeed in the long term. The club desperately short of money. Manchester City get us underway then, leading 2-0. Prior to today, they'd taken only 4 out of a possible 12 points after that marvellous start they had to the season when they won 7 of their opening 9 league games. Their form has certainly dipped since then, but they'll be encouraged by their form today. Baker. May just cleaning up, and here's Lomax. Off McCarthy's head. Baker battling with Robinson, a complete miskick then by Smith. Evans in possession. Marustic, here's Richards. Need an early goal to be lifted, do Swansea. Lewis. Marustic tried to get it back to him, but again, City tried to counter-attack, but not a very good ball. Richards. Wilson allowed Evans to rob him. Good return from Pascoe to Marustic. Back in towards Pascoe. It was a brave effort, and it wins a crack on the head. Marustic knocking the ball in, and Pascoe diving full length to try and head it goalwards. It came off a City defender, and Pascoe was feeling the pain. The referee has actually given an indirect free kick from the point where Pascoe collided with the City defender. Interesting situation, this. Richards drives it, and it was off the line. I think it was Kinsey who was stood on the line. And as the ball was absolutely cracked goalwards by Richards, Kinsey was in exactly the right place to knock it away. McCarthy, a good header away, but only as far as Pascoe. McCarthy's there to make the challenge as well. Good defending. Pascoe. Ooh, May went in dangerously. Morgan forward. On by Marustic, cleared by Wilson. And again, City, with the speed of their counter-attacks, look dangerous. Kinsey. He's beaten Lewis. He's got Baker in the middle. Well, he'd done all the approach works so well, and then a terrible ball at the end of it. But a more open game than it was in the first half. Robinson for Swansea. Play on, says the referee. Pascoe, good skill. Bond blocked it. Comes to Marustic. Well, the end shot by Marustic was not very good, but really Pascoe dipped his shoulder and showed lovely control then, and Bond inadvertently almost heading it clear. And they certainly have a gem in this young man. I'm sure that he would be capable of playing football at a higher level. Parlane on the far post, calling for the ball and getting it. Baker. Lomax. Smith coming in. Oh, it's hit the post. Well, Lomax knocking the cross in. Smith going up for the header. The goalkeeper diving, and the ball hit the post and was cleared for a corner by Richards. Unchallenged header for Stevenson to clear. May wins it. Smith again. Still plenty forward from the preceding corner for Manchester City. Sloppy ball though by Baker. Parlane battling well, and Baker finding Tolmie, but Holtham intercepts. 20 minutes to go. Swansea didn't get the early goal they needed in this second half, and the pendulum has swung back towards Manchester City again, though it's never frankly been very far away from their favour. Baker's cross. Evans couldn't get it clear. Here's Parlane. Oh, what a great effort. What a marvellous effort by Parlane, caught everyone by surprise. Wheeling away from the goal, he started with his back to goal. A terrific effort which smacked against the crossbar and deserved a goal. Manchester City get a corner. Parlane gets even a congratulatory pat from the referee. Bond. Oh, uncertainty then. Turned forward by Bond again. McCarthy. Morgan. Just couldn't get it clear, Swansea, but now Stevenson can. Kevin Bond. Holtham's clearance straight to Baker. Parlane. Swansea looking dispirited again after a promising start to the second half. Bond forward. Tolmie, good ball. It comes to May. Did he use his hands? He did. His arm, to be more exact. This is Saunders taking on Lomax, winning the throw. Lomax claiming it went off the Swansea man, but it didn't. In fact, the referee has given the free kick to Swansea. Oh, Williams stretching. Oh, Richards. Richards again. Well, I don't believe that. Williams stretching. Richards tried just about the most unorthodox shot I've seen for a long time, and then the ball came back to him again, and Williams, with a great big pair of hands, ended up with the ball. cleared by Stevenson. Here's Bond. Stevenson in quickly on Kinsey, who did well. Holtham's clearance is not a bad one. Certainly want to throw. Kevin Bond. Still a bit groggy from the same virus which meant Ray Ranson couldn't play in this match. Just 10 minutes to go. Can Swansea forge something from the finale to this match? Robinson! Well, they nearly did forge something, and they have got a corner. So, Robinson providing the best moment of the game for Swansea with that fine dipping shot that was tucked behind for a corner. McCarthy. Thumped clear by Smith. Tolmie onto it. Now 2 against 2. Kinsey's up with him, but he couldn't find him. The challenge by Lewis was just enough to throw Tolmie off his stride, really. Three very valuable points for Manchester City, which will keep their promotion hopes alive. Goals by Parlane in the 12th minute, who then produced a fine drive against the bar in the second half. Kinsey scoring the second goal 10 minutes before half-time. And Billy McNeil's team will keep on the heels of the promotion pack with this result. But for Swansea, it's gloom and doom all the way, I'm afraid. And they may have to rebuild in the 3rd division next season. Swansea City 0, Manchester City 2.
Well, Swansea, with so many inexperienced players, almost inevitably on the way down. But if it prevents them being counted out, well, all's not lost. Manchester City gathered in the points with some composure and much gratitude. Bob.
Victory lifted Manchester City to 4th place, but realistically promotion will surely go to the top 3, Chelsea, Sheffield Wednesday and Newcastle. They all won today and are 7 points clear. Top scorer Kerry Dixon scored twice as Chelsea beat Fulham 4-0. Sheffield Wednesday beat Portsmouth 2-0, but may have lost leading scorer Gary Bannister for the rest of the season with an ankle injury. And 2 goals in the last 3 minutes by Terry McDermott and Peter Beardsley gave Newcastle a dramatic win at Charlton. In Division 3, Oxford United won 1-0 at Walsall to open up an 11-point lead at the top. The only other winners there were Hull, who beat Wimbledon 4-1 at Plough Lane. In Division 4, York, who play Doncaster tomorrow, still have a 13-point lead. Second place Bristol City went down 2-0 at Reading in a match that was held up for 13 minutes by a pitch invasion. City manager Terry Cooper threatened to concede the game when Bristol fans rioted and is tonight seriously considering resigning because of the trouble. He said, "I was absolutely sickened and don't want to be associated with anything like that." There were 48 arrests and 4 policemen were taken to hospital when bits of concrete and coins were thrown. Finally, pools. With 10 score draws and 2 no-score draws on the coupons, telephone claims are required for 24 points. The dividend forecast is fair. The numbers 9, 10, 14, 15, 24, 26, 32, 38, 51 and 53.
Well, finally, the result of that spectacular Goal of the Month competition, where all 6 goals were of extremely high quality. Any one of them might have won in another month, but the panel chose in 3rd place goalie scored by John Barnes for Watford against Birmingham.
Oh, lovely skill. Oh, what a magnificent goal!
In 2nd place, they chose goal A, scored by Andy Peake for Leicester City against Watford.
Peake. 3 runners ahead of him. Oh, I say, what a cracking goal!
And the chosen Goal of the Month was scored by Danny Wallace to enable Southampton to beat Cannon League leaders and current champions Liverpool.
Right. Worthington. Beautifully done. And Wright has moved up to the far post for the return. And Gobble changed his mind. magnificent goal.
And the first postcard pulled out of the sack with the correct winning order of FAE was sent in by Mr. Colin Geldard of Sunlee Flats, Rotherham. Well done, Mr. Geldard. The prize of £100 worth of premium bonds is yours. And if you pick that winner, perhaps you could follow it by selecting the winner of the final of the BBC Greyhound TV Trophy, which you can see live in Sports Night next Wednesday at 9:55, as well as international boxing from the Royal Albert Hall. Match of the Day will be back with a treat for young and old next Saturday, a little earlier at 5 to 10, with highlights of one of the FA Cup semi-finals and a report of the other. Will Plymouth make history and become the first third division side to reach the final? Or will Watford get to Wembley for the first time? My tip, Southampton face revitalised Everton. Not easy to separate those two on current form. But all will be revealed next Saturday at 9:55. Meantime, may we just wish good luck to all the British teams who performed so well in their last rounds of European competition in their respective matches this coming week. Good night.